Hello everyone, I'm Amanda with Midnight Sun Yoga Center in Palmer, Alaska. We're going to do a fun flow today. You don't need a mat, you don't need any props. However, if you have things that are accessible to you, feel free to use them. So I have a block at the top of my mat. You can use any hard surface, a couple books, board game, whatever is there that you have readily accessible, you can put at the front of your mat if you feel you'll need that later on. If you don't have a mat, that's okay. Just come to a comfortable spot. We'll get started on our backs. As we make ourselves comfortable, we take any of those wiggles that we need to do so that we can be in this position comfortably. Taking your hands up to the side, open your palms up to the sky. Letting everything go. Taking a deep breath in, sighing it out. One more breath in, sigh it out. Sealing the lips. Letting air come freely in and out through our navel cavities. Begin to notice the support that you have beneath you. Notice how your body connects to your mat, how the ground holds you up. Without assigning any feeling or thought, just take notice of how your body is feeling right now. Do you have areas of tightness? It doesn't mean that these are good or bad. Just taking notice of how your body feels. Perhaps noticing areas that feel really good, that are fully relaxed. On your next inhale, taking a deep breath, noticing that your ribs expand out, your belly rises as you take this full inhale. Exhale, slowly release all the air in your belly. Picturing yourself being squeezed and flattened from your belly, through the ribs, through the throat. Inhale, slowly fill that all back up. Exhale, release. One more. Letting your breath go. Letting your body do its work without any thought. Throughout practice today, I'll make suggestions for the poses that your body can make and how it can create those shapes. But this is your practice. Always take notice of how your body feels, adjust accordingly, or just simply opt out of a posture if it's not for you in that moment. At this time, picking an affirmation that you want to give yourself throughout the practice. Perhaps it is, I am kind. I am giving. I am strong. Picking an affirmation that is personal to you. We'll set that affirmation together by first clearing our breath, exhaling all of our air out. Taking a deep inhale together. Full exhale. Begin to find movement by wiggling those fingers, the wrists, the toes, the ankles. Finding our own rhythm as we find expansion and movement in our body, perhaps resembling our morning wake-up routine. Find a fully expanded state. Maybe for you this is arms overhead or arms out to your side. Once there, take a deep inhale. Full exhale. Bringing the knees into chest, hands come to either back of thighs or wrap around the shins. Finding some movement, perhaps back and forth, side to side. And then hands come to kneecaps, and using the hands, we'll draw circles with the kneecaps. First working one direction, and then the other. And then finding stillness as we tuck in once more. Taking a deep inhale, exhale, rise the shoulders, nose comes towards knees. Inhale, release. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, roll forward. Chest lifts, shoulders lift. Really sit back down. Once more, inhale, big breath here. As you roll, slowly exhale. And then release back down. Right leg stays connected, left leg reaches long and meets the mat. Flexing both of our toes, we begin to straighten the right leg. Hand can support this leg on the back of the thighs or perhaps the back of the calves. Or if you have a yogi grip in your practice, the fingers can come around the big toe. This is an option at home. If you have a belt or a yoga strap, you can also use that in your practice today. Bending that knee, bringing that right knee back into chest, and then opening the leg out to the side. Use that right arm as a kickstand to support your leg as it opens up. Left hand comes to the left hip to remind yourself to stay grounded. Not letting that left hip rise up. Reconnect with your full breath here. Feeling those ribs expand, the lower belly rise. Slowly releasing all the air back out. And then bending that leg in, bringing it back to your chest. Give it a little massage as both hands come to your leg. And then release the right hand down, place it out to your side, palm down, and draw the right leg over towards the left side. Our shoulder will remain connected. Finding a nice spinal twist. Your gaze can remain up at the sky, or if your neck allows, you can look over towards your right hand. Release. Gaze comes back towards the sky. Knee comes into chest. Both hands meet on the leg. Left leg comes up to join it, taking some movement here. Releasing the right leg long. Left leg stays in, stays connected. And then expand the left leg, reach the bottom of the foot up towards the sky. Flex those toes back towards you. Hands supporting you in a way that you feel the stretch in your hamstring, but you also feel connected throughout the back to your mat. Release the left leg down to your chest and then open it up to your side using that left arm to support you. Right hand can come to the right hip if you need that feeling of connection. That gentle reminder to feel grounded throughout your body to the earth. Reconnecting with your breath here. And then bending that knee, bringing it up to center. Both hands connect on the leg. Left hand goes out to your side, palm down, as the left leg is drawn towards the right side. Staying connected throughout the length of the left arm, the left shoulder. Gaze can remain upright, or eyes can turn looking towards that left hand. Drawing that knee into chest. Right leg joins it. Taking a little bit of movement here. And then finding your happy baby. So bottoms of feet go up to the sky. Hands can remain on the calves. They can come to the insides of feet. Your arms can come through around your legs to meet the bottoms of feet. The goal here is to keep that lower back connected as we reach up to the sky, finding intuitive movement here. After the twisting, we're using this happy baby just to bring our spine back into a neutral position. And then we'll transition into our hands and knees. So you can do this by crossing the ankles and rolling, placing those hands behind the knees, just simply rolling until you're in an upright position, or you can roll all the way over. I'm going to turn around, straighten out my mat, and we'll meet in this tabletop position. If you're on a harder surface, you can use that blanket underneath your knees to provide you more support. And the first thing we're going to do is just warm up our wrists. So my fingers are facing forward. In stillness, my hips are over knees, my shoulders are over wrists. And then I'm going to find movement here. Just small back and forth or circling around my hands so that I can start to awaken the wrists. Turning the fingers out to the sides of my mat. Finding movement again here, side to side or circling. It's going to be really specific to you, how you do this best. If this is intense, you can also do it one hand at a time. And then we're turning the fingers back to face us. The thumbs end up facing the side of our mat. And once again, finding some movement here. Throughout this, we're feeling a stretch in the front and back of our lower arms, right around those wrist joints. And this one too, if this is intense, you can always do one hand at a time. If you're able to keep your fingers back towards you, we're going to work through some cat-cows. If this is too intense, simply turn your palms back forward and join me there. We're going to bring the heart forward, belly drops. And then we're going to round the back one vertebrae at a time. The tailbone curls under, the shoulders expand long. Inhale, draw that heart forward. Tailbone curls up, gaze comes up. Exhale, round, starting with a tailbone curl, one vertebrae at a time until you're in this cat-like stage. Moving with your own breath here. And meeting in this neutral tabletop position. Slowly moving one hand till it faces forward, then the other. We'll sit back on our toes for a nice toe stretch. So our toes will expand wide. We'll use our fingers to help move them apart. If this is too intense, you can also come forward a little bit. So sitting down for our toe stretch, let's begin to make those wrists feel a little bit more normal. So just taking some wrist rolls here, maybe making some flashing lights, or perhaps you interlace and find some movement throughout the wrists. Just anything to bring them back to how they should feel. Finding some shoulder rubs. We bring those shoulders up to our ears. We squish in. We roll them back down. Bring those up one more time. Roll them back down. And then switch directions. Big shoulder shrugs. And then inhale. The arms come up. Reach for the sky. Exhale, open up to cactus or goalpost arms. The heart draws forward. Exhale, we round the back like we just did in cat. Hands reach forward. Inhale, open back up to our cactus arms. Exhale, roll forward. Inhale, open back up. Reach the hands up to the sky, and then bring them down in front of us, releasing those toes, and wake them back up. Oh, great work. So finding our nice neutral tabletop, our fingers grip into the mat so that our finger pads are really doing the majority of the work. We're avoiding dumping weight right into the wrist itself, but we're placing the weight in much like an L position and using our finger pads to distribute the weight. We start with some scapula push-ups. So we're going to release our heart down and then simply push our heart away using only the arm muscles. So our hips, the rest of our body stays as neutral as possible. The movement really comes from just within the shoulder area. So release the heart, push the floor away. Your shoulders almost come into a cat-like rounding position here. So we push away. Notice what the insides of your elbows are doing at this time. We want some arm rotation. So if you let your heart sink, your arms are kind of neutral. We'll notice that the elbows are pointing back towards the opposite hip. As we push through the ground, we're going to rotate these so that they're facing more forward. So go ahead, look down at those elbow areas, push through the floor, find that rounding of the back, that fullest extension. You can't possibly push any further away. Notice now that the creases of your elbows are pointing more towards the front of your mat. Release the heart down, release your arms back. Notice now if you would bend your elbows that they're going out to the sides. Push the floor back away, elbows come up. Now notice if you bend your elbows, they come straight back towards you. So this is where we want to be in plank as we lower down through chaturanga. We want to be in the strong pushed position where we're almost rounding the shoulders. We're pushed away. The elbow creases are facing towards the front so that when we bend, the elbows and the arms can stay tucked in close to the body. So find this nice strong position. Engage the core by drawing the navel in towards your spine, and then lift the right leg straight back. Flex those toes so that they're facing you. Toes drawn in towards the body. We're pushed as far away as you possibly can. Double check that. Can you push any further? Take your gaze about 6 inches in front of your hands so we have a nice long extension of the spine all the way through the neck. Engage that core. Release back down. Find that tabletop. Taking it over to the left side, we're pushing strongly through the floor. We're engaging the core. We're lifting that left leg. We're pointing the toes back towards us. We're flexing that foot. Our gaze is slightly in front of us. We can't possibly push through the floor anymore. We feel our body starting to build some fire. We release back down. Bring the big toes together, knees come wide, wide-legged child's pose. So we're going to melt into the mat. Our forehead will come onto the mat. Our hands can reach out in front of us, fully relaxed. Let it all go. Taking a deep breath in. Sigh it out. Deep breath in. Sigh it out. And just let your breath go. Moving your forehead on the mat. So I'm going to move my arm just so you can see. We're just giving ourselves a little bit of a massage here by moving our head from one side to another as it's grounded into the earth. And your next inhale, we start to rise back up to that tabletop position. Finding that nice strong position where we're pushed through the floor as far as we can. If we bend the elbows, they bend straight back. Our core is engaged. We're drawing those hip bones towards the rib bones. And then we reach the right foot back. We flex the toes. We find our strength here. And then we begin to tuck that knee in towards our chest. We exhale, push it back out. Bring it back in. Inhale, straighten that leg back out. Exhale as you bring it in. Hold it here. And then release it out long, finding that tabletop again. Left leg repeats. We extend that left leg. We're pushed through our arms as strong as we can. We bring that knee in. We extend it back out. Exhale, bring that knee into chest. Inhale, back out. Exhale, bring that knee in. Exhale, send it back out. Go ahead and bring that knee back down. Find a child's pose, just keeping those legs together. Releasing the head down to the mat. Coming back to our tabletop. We'll find ourselves fully engaged. We'll take the right leg out behind us. We'll flex the toes. We'll bring that knee to the outside of the same elbow. And then we'll place the foot down on the mat. So both hands are on the inside of that foot. We find a starting point for lizard, which means you might need to walk that back leg back just a little bit further. So in lizard, we have several options. We can stay right here. We can grab that hard surface that we put down at the front of our mat to bring the floor a little bit closer, and we can start to connect with the hard surface, or we can connect directly with the floor in front of us. We can also choose to open that hip up, drawing the heart towards the sky, finding a small twist in this position. So taking the lizard of your choice. Once you're in your lizard position, reconnecting with your breath. Noticing how it feels as you take those long, steady inhales. As your ribs expand, the belly grows larger. Taking just as long as you did to inhale to push all of the air back out. Finding a full exhale. And one more breath here. We slowly work out of our lizard position, coming back to the starting point. And then we bring that leg back around so that we find ourselves in that tabletop position. We find that strong tabletop position and we lift the left leg so it extends behind us. We bring that knee up to the outside of the left elbow, and then we place the foot down on the mat. We adjust accordingly if needed, if we have to move that back leg back. And then we choose how we're going to move into lizard on this side. Some folks like to remain even and do the same position or create the same shape on both sides. Some folks like to individualize, knowing that each side of our body feels different. It might need something different, so you might choose a different shape to make on this side. So choose what's right for you. And once you're in that shape, reconnect with your breath. Slowly unwinding. First coming back to that starting position and then releasing that left leg back. Finding that tabletop. And then we're slowly going to extend out the right leg. The toes touch down. Feel ourselves supported. Grip the mat with your fingers. Push away from the earth. Engage your core, and then lift the left leg back so it joins. We find ourselves in a full plank. We're looking about 6 inches in front of our hands. You have the option to keep the knees on the ground here. So from the full plank, we're going to bend our elbows back towards us. We're going to lower slowly all the way to the earth. Nice and slow and controlled, all the way back down. Push forward on those toes. Release to the earth. Taking the tops of your hands underneath your shoulder area. Tuck those elbows in so they're nice and tight to you. We're going to do the same thing, peeling up. First coming to our baby cobra. So inhale, we're rising up just a little bit. Exhale, release back down. Inhale, rise up, perhaps coming a little bit more. Exhale, release. Inhale, coming up one more time, perhaps finding the full extension here. Exhale, release all the way back down. Tuck those toes under and either keeping the knees on the ground or rising all the way up, find that full plank again. And then push back for your down dog. So hips go back towards the sky. Our heels are reaching for the earth. They may not reach it. That's okay. In this down dog, we're going to take some time to really get comfortable. So perhaps pedaling out the feet by lifting one, sending the weight into the other leg, and then moving from side to side. We can also wag the tail of the dog by lifting up, coming onto our toes, and then sending both heels over to one side of the mat, feeling the stretch through our side body. Moving through the tips of our toes, bringing the heels to the other side, stretching out the other side. Wherever you're at, finding some stillness. Then inhale, we look up to our hands. Exhale, we walk slowly to meet them. We stay in this nice crouch position, finding a forward fold that we can melt into. Our entire body feels heavy. It's drawn towards the earth. We can find a ragdoll by hand to opposite elbow crease and just swaying side to side. Stretching out, feeling any position that feels good, making some free movement here. You know, the way I look doesn't mean it's the way that you have to look. We just want to feel good as we stretch down towards the earth. Release the hands, hang heavy. And then inhale, we halfway lift. Our hands come to shins. Our head reaches far out. Our shoulder blades are drawn back. Exhale, release, fold down. Inhale, we're going to curl up one vertebrae at a time until we're standing, finding our mountain pose. So being connected with the earth, our feet are about hip width apart. Our shoulder blades are rolled back. And we feel grounded and at ease here. Inhale, the hands come up to the sky, gaze follows. Exhale, hands come to heart, we close the eyes. We remind ourselves of our affirmation that we told ourselves earlier. I am kind. I am strong. I am generous. Whatever your affirmation was, remind yourself at this time. We release the hands down to our sides. We inhale them up one more time, reaching for the sky. Exhale, we fold all the way down. Inhale, we lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, find that plank position. You always have the option of coming to your knees. In our plank, our shoulders are going to be over wrists. We're gripping the mat with our fingertips. We're pushed as far away from the mat as we can. We see those elbows are bending back towards us. Our feet are stretched out so that the balls of our feet are under our heels. We're engaging the core, drawing that navel in. Our gaze is out in front of our hands. A lot going on with just a simple plank. From here, we're going to push forward on our toes so our shoulders come in front of our wrists. We're going to lower all the way down to the earth. Inhale, we're going to find our back bend, push the tops of the feet into mat. Straighten those arms if that's in your practice for finding our cobra. Exhale, bend the toes, bend the knees, tuck the toes, send the hips up to the sky, downward dog. Finding any movement we need here. And then coming into stillness, reconnecting with our breath. And then inhale, looking up at our hands. Exhale, walking up to meet our hands, finding that deep fold. Perhaps finding ragdoll again. Really just taking time to bend into anything. Finding that stretch that you need in this moment. Inhale, coming up halfway. Exhale, folding down, planting the hands, stepping back to find that high plank or knees on the ground. Pushing away from the earth. Push back, find your down dog. Breathe here. And then bring the big toes together at the back of your mat. Right leg will reach up behind you, toes reach for the sky. Bend the knee, open up that hip. Feel the stretch here. Use the kneecap to draw circles. These can be as big or as small as you need. And then straighten that leg. Place it back down next to the left leg. Left leg reaches up for the sky. Bend the knee, open the hip, and then draw circles with that kneecap. Moving in the opposite direction. And then reaching that leg out wide, placing the toes down together, and then walking the hands back until you're in a fold at the back of your mat. Hanging heavy here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, rise up, gaze up, hands up. Exhale, hands come to heart. Engage the core, draw that navel into spine, and then sit back, finding your chair pose. Looking down, doing a double check. Can you see your toes? Can you sit back any further? Is your core still engaged? Take a big breath in here. Exhale, release, fold down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Walk the hands out until you find your full plank. Push forward on your toes, lower either through chaturanga or all the way, and find a back bend of your choice. Perhaps an up dog or sticking with your cobra. And then find your down dog. Flip those toes under. Stretch it out. Taking one more breath here. Deep inhale. Full exhale. And then release the knees down. Toes come together, knees come wide, finding that wide-legged child's pose. Rest the forehead into the earth. Perhaps giving yourself a massage again. Or perhaps just being in stillness, letting your breath be the only thing that moves. From our child's pose, we'll rise up. We'll make our way onto our backs. Once there, we'll bring those knees into chest. Give yourself a little massage. And then left foot releases to the mat. Right foot crosses over left thigh. You can either just stay right here using that right hand to open up the right leg, that right hip, or you can draw this in closer to your body, either grasping behind the thigh or on top of the shin, drawing the legs closer in to your chest. Breathing here. Flexing that top foot. Feeling yourself fully connected to the mat. Letting that upper body melt away. And the shoulders relax down. Feeling yourself reconnect. Slowing down. And then releasing. Left leg comes down. We unwind the right foot. The left foot bends, comes across the right thigh. Same options. Stay right here. Draw in closer under the thigh, or connect the hands on the shin and draw the legs into the heart. Drawing that left knee away from you. We use the pressure on the right leg if you're taking this option to draw the entire side in closer to you. Feeling the stretch in that left hip, abductor area. Slowly releasing our hands, the right leg to the floor, unwinding that left leg, stretching them out, maybe pedaling like you were on a bike, just finding some movement here. And then we cross the right leg over the left leg. Hands reach for the feet that are now directly in front of us. So we can stay right here. Or we can bring those feet closer into ourselves, letting the knees reach for the earth. Once you're in a comfortable position, you can release the hands away, letting gravity take over. Continuing to either flex or point the toes, both feet. Feeling ourselves, staying connected, stretching out. Then we begin to draw those knees back into our chest. We can stretch the legs up towards the sky, keeping that lower back connected. Switch the hands, open the legs up wide. And then cross the legs. So now my left leg is going to be crossed over the right leg. So if they're straight up in the air, the left leg is now on top or closer to me. I take the feet down wide. I can either stay here for a stretch. I can begin to release the knees down. I can melt into this pose. Pointing or flexing the feet. Breathing into this. Picture drawing air up through your right toes. As you exhale, send that air back down the left leg, exiting through the left toes. Inhale through the right side. Exhale through the left. Once more. And then slowly drawing those toes, the legs back up in the air, finding one more stretch, and then bringing those feet up towards the sky for a stretch here before uncrossing the legs, opening up wide. Bringing the bottoms of the feet together, either drawing them in towards your pelvic bone as you draw the heart forward, or you can bring the bottoms of your feet to the earth, letting the knees splay wide just based on gravity. And using our hands to reach the knees back up. We're going to take any movement we feel here is needed before we find a bridge pose. So we can either have a supported bridge by using a block or a similar hard object, or we can just simply go up into a bridge. So we are going to bring our heels closer so that our fingertips can almost tickle the backs of our heels. We're going to push into the mat with our head. Our shoulders are going to draw closer behind us. We're going to release back down. So now we have the shoulder blades supporting us. We're going to draw the navel in to spine. And then we're going to lift the hips up, sending them up to the sky. You have the option of staying right here, or you can take that hard surface such as a block and place it underneath that tailbone area, so that you can release down and be supported in this pose. This is a little more gentle or restorative. We can remain more active by holding ourselves up. You're choosing the active bridge. We're placing weight throughout the entire foot. Our inner thighs are drawing together. Glutes are pushing ourselves up. We stay engaged throughout the core, really drawing that navel into spine, and our shoulder blades are supporting us. So just following with my voice here, not turning your head while we're in this position. Gaze remains straight up at the ceiling. And then ever so slowly, you're going to remove that block if you're using it. And we're all going to curl down one vertebrae at a time until our tailbone reaches our mat again. Bring those knees into chest. Give yourself a massage. We're finding a happy baby. We send the bottoms of the feet up to the sky. We grasp our feet, our shins, somewhere along our legs so that we can do this intuitive movement of maybe pumping the feet or rocking side to side. That final little back massage. And then when you're ready, we're going to make our way into our final resting position, our Savasana. So we just want to feel comfortable here. We want to shake everything out so that we can remain here in peace and love. Take a deep breath in. Sigh it all out. Deep breath in. Sigh it all out. Push the back of your head into the mat. Bring those shoulder blades together. Release your head. Now feel support from your shoulder blades. Give your hands a really big squeeze. Make fists. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, release the grip. Release everything you're holding on to. Taking a 4-part breath, we're going to inhale for 4 counts. We'll pause where air neither comes in or out. We'll exhale for 4. We'll pause again and continue that cycle. So clear your breath, exhaling all the air. Together we inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. We pause. We exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1, and pause. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, pause. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, pause. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Let that breath go. Let your body return to its natural cadence of just being, where air will enter and leave without thought. And take one final moment here to come back to that original affirmation. Remind yourself of what your affirmation is. For example, how kind you are, or how strong you are. Take acknowledgement of this affirmation, and then let it drift off in the wind. Throughout the rest of your Savasana, let thoughts that enter just continue to pass on by. You can stay here as long as you need. It's been my privilege to guide you through practice today.